What is up, peoples? It is time for another weekly roundup in the world of video game adaptations. It's Sunday. It's now June 3rd, I believe. It's 3rd or 4th? June. It is now June 4th. So we're like halfway through the year, and it's already been the best year ever for video game adaptations, I think, with Last of Us and Super Mario. So this is officially the best year it's ever been. But it hasn't been the busiest week in terms of news. There really hasn't been a whole lot. I've been digging around trying to find any kind of new announcements. Of course, don't forget to like and subscribe and tell everybody how amazing my channel is. So this isn't really totally adaptation related-ish, but it kind of is. Diablo 4, which is a huge game that's going to come out in a week or two. I'm probably not going to play it just because, I don't know. I tried the demo and it just didn't do much for me, and right now I'm still deep into playing Tears of the Kingdom for Zelda. So, but I mean, I know this game is a huge deal for a lot of people, and it's already gotten like a 9 on certain sites for a rating out of 10, and some people are saying Game of the Year, which is kind of nuts to say that compared to Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, which like every time that new Zelda game comes out, it's almost always the game for that year. So this year it could be, but it has some competition with Diablo and some other games. But the news is that Chloe Zhao directed a live-action trailer for the video game. It came out. I'll have a link below for you to watch it if you want to. But the trailer came out about a week ago, and it's got like 3 million. Yeah, it's got 3 million views over here on YouTube. Yeah, down here, 3 million views in 10 days, which isn't that much. I actually thought for a game that's such a big deal, I figured any new trailer would get like 10 million views minimum. Yes, and the game comes out on the 6th, so in like 2 more days. So yeah, this was shot by Oscar-winning director Chloe Zhao and co-director. Yeah, Chloe won for that movie a few years ago with Frances McDermott, Something Land. I forget. I love Frances McDermott, though. She's an amazing actress. That's pretty much the news. She said it's a pretty dark trailer. I've actually not watched the whole thing. I saw some of it, and at first I actually thought it was a CG trailer because Blizzard makes the most amazing CG trailers probably in the entire industry. But no, it's live action, and I was like, okay, cool. But I actually haven't watched it. But I'll give it a watch after. I mean, the trailer has a very production look to it. Like, it doesn't look like, it pretty much looks like, I mean, obviously the whole thing was probably shot on green screen and not on location anywhere. The CG effects are really solid, but it does look kind of cheap in a way too. It's just my cat knocking things over. That's a cool shot. And of course there's Lilith, bad person in this game, and Lilith was also the name of the bad person, the bad guy in my new favorite game ever, Marvel's Midnight Suns. So I don't know, there's something about devil women being named Lilith. I guess that's like an official thing in the lore of just in general somewhere, but I don't know, maybe I'll look that up one day. But yes, Savior's Wandered is the name of the trailer if you want to watch it. I'll have a link below for that. On to other news, which is, not an announcement, but during an interview, Stranger Things star Finn Wolfhard, who's known to be an avid gamer, reveals his dream adaptation to star in, which is Jak and Daxter. So yes, his dream adaptation would be Jak and Daxter, which is a series. Jak and Daxter is a series which, Jak and Daxter is a series that hasn't had a new game in years. I mean, it's with a variety of hits in the genre. Stranger Things star Finn Wolfhard says starring in a Jak and Daxter adaptation would be a dream. Following his breakout turn in Netflix, in the Netflix show and the 2-part Stephen King's It, he was also a success with his music, and he was in Ghostbusters Afterlife, and releasing his directorial. My God, he's directing a movie. Holy crap! Is he even 20 years old yet? Releasing his directorial debut, Hell of a Summer. That's nuts. I didn't know that. He's directing a movie already. Like, he's still a kid and he's directing a movie. I don't know. He always struck me as the kind of guy that's like, wasn't dying to be an actor, but somehow fell into it luckily. And he could go on to just be more of a director than an actor, like Fred Savage or something. That's just me, hypothesizing. That's kind of crazy. So in addition to this, Wolfhard is a well-known gamer, even appearing as a guest on YouTube channel Game Grunts multiple times. In a recent interview with Collider for his own venture in the gaming world with PlayStation Playmakers, Wolfhard discussed which video game adaptation he would like to star in. While struggling to narrow down his list of options, he expressed interest to be part of a Jak and Daxter adaptation in the future. See what he said below. That's such a good question. There's so many. Okay, I've thought about this before. And the Jak and Daxter series is really sick. I think that would be fun as like a kind of adventure movie, maybe. So he basically just threw out the answer randomly, and they made a whole article out of it. To me, that's a weird choice. I've never played the series, but it's kind of an odd choice. I mean, it's an old Naughty Dog game, and Naughty Dog has gone on to make some of the most amazing games ever with Uncharted and Last of Us. It only had 3 games, and then that's it. So, interesting choice. And there hasn't been a new Jak and Daxter game since like 2017, and it was just one of those bundle thingies where it's like all the games in one for, you know, slightly remastered version. But yeah, you know, it's cool that he's an avid gamer, and it's crazy that he's going to be directing already. So, it'll be interesting to see how that turns out. Okay, so wow. Okay, so I'm just reading this. So I'm not sure if he said this knowing that something was already in the works, but in the article that I'm reading from on Screen Rant, there's actually a link to another article from like last year saying that the Uncharted director is developing a Jak and Daxter movie. So a Jak and Daxter movie is in the works. I'm wondering if you knew that, because I actually didn't know that either, even though I'm not surprised, because it sounds like they're just going to start adapting everything, which I'm okay with. Speaking with digital trends for the upcoming movie, Uncharted director Ruben Fleischer revealed he is currently developing a Jak and Daxter adaptation, though not offering much details on what's to come for the project. He teased it would be a version of the platforming video games that he's putting together with the help of PlayStation. The filmmaker expressed that getting a chance to adapt Jak and Daxter would be really cool to bring to life. And this is just after his actor in the Uncharted movie, Tom Holland, expressing his own interest in helping get a live-action film off the ground. So he's in competition with Finn Wolfhard for the role. It'd be weird for Holland to do another adaptation of another Sony property. It would be kind of strange, or maybe that'll be his thing. I mean, he is a Sony guy. He does Spider-Man with them, and he did Uncharted, so maybe he'll do more movies with Sony adaptations. Holland's vision for the film would see him starring as Jak and borrowing a heavy influence from the filmography of indie powerhouse studio A24. That's a weird thing to think about. Taking a dark and weird approach to the material for a film. Fleischer's discussion isn't entirely a confirmation of the project being in the works. It would prove a promising sign of his relationship with Holland and PlayStation following his work on Uncharted. So there is a actual Jak and Daxter movie in the works. So if Finn Wolfhard wants that role, he'll have to compete with Tom Holland. I can see Tom Holland getting it because, you know, Sony already loves him, and he's proven in the box office, so I could see him getting it just for that alone. But Wolfhard himself also has a number of projects on screen, including the previously mentioned Hell of a Summer. He's filming the Ghostbusters Afterlife sequel, and a fantasy adventure movie, The Legend of Ochi. Never heard of it. It almost sounds like a video game, kind of like Zelda-ish take. Never heard of that movie at all. In which he stars with Willem Dafoe, Emily Watson, and Helena Zengel. Whether he gets a chance to star in a Jak and Daxter adaptation is yet to be seen, but his star power could see Fleischer and Sony enlist the Stranger Things. Alright, well that's it for the week. That's all the news I could find, and I happened to just find new news in the middle of recording this with the Jak and Daxter movie, so that's confirmed to be being worked on. So that's cool. But that's it for me. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And that's it for this week's weekly roundup of video game adaptation news. Thanks for watching, and keep gaming.